Hello, this is Reverend Don Lewis coming to you from beautiful Florida. And today our question comes to us from Polydori Necropunk. And yesterday our question had to do with what it means to be a world walker. And this was a follow-up to our previous question about contacting the spirits of potential children. Our question today is a follow-up to yesterday's question, in which I referred to the possibility of losing one's place in reality. Polydori Necropunk asks, what does it mean to lose your place in reality? And this is one of those things that I personally consider to be a danger of magic. I'm not really big on the idea of magic being, oh, so terribly dangerous. You'll run into lots of people who will tell you it's so dangerous, it's so scary. For the most part, I do not take that point of view. However, there are certain dangers. But if you've been trained in a reasonable way, if you've been trained in a steady, sequential way that builds your skills in a sensible manner, so that you don't encounter things before you should be encountering them, and so that you're prepared for them when you get to them, I don't really think there's a lot to be worried about in magic, but one thing is there that I do tend to warn people, if they start working with very high-level magic, is a potential danger, and that is losing your place in reality. The first thing that you really ought to be told about magic, no matter what system that you are studying, or for that matter it should even be self-evident, is that this physical world of ours is not as solid as it appears. This is the whole idea of magic, that you can affect the physical world in non-physical ways. However, there are a lot of people in the metaphysical community who haven't really thought about that all that deeply. And when they encounter this idea in its more extreme manifestations, they often have difficulty understanding it. It's even more difficult if you start to work with those aspects of magic that really interact with affecting reality, and you are not prepared for it. And in terms of being prepared for it, there are a number of things that are very important. Being very well-grounded, being very centered in your life and who you are, and having a good grounding in the nature of the universe as we understand it. These are all very important. But the fact remains, when you start influencing reality at a high level of magic, you come face to face with the fact that reality can be shifted, sometimes in major ways. And this can cause a very traumatic reaction if you are not prepared for it. And the main danger of losing your place in reality is losing the sequence of A to B to C, which we live with in our normal physical world. And this is very important in terms of our understanding of the events that we experience. It's part of the reason we're in this world, so that we can analyze and understand cause and effect. But when you start to deal with how fluid reality can actually be, A does not always lead to B, and B does not always lead to C. Sometimes A leads to Z, or A leads to 6, or A leads to any number of bizarre places that you would not normally have expected. And this can be very disconcerting and disorienting if you're not prepared for it. And this is why when I start talking about the higher levels of magic, working with probabilities, dimensionality, and so forth, I often will bring this up, because it's at that level that this can be an issue. So, this is what I'm talking about, and again, how do you avoid it? Well, one, by not just jumping into these things, but learning about them thoroughly before you work with them, and also being very securely grounded, having very good psychic hygiene, and above all, being very clear in who you are in this particular life and this particular moment. Because working with the higher levels of magic will show you many other moments which could tend to pull you away from why you are here now. And it's very important to remain focused on why you are here now, because your soul has put you here for a reason. And it's not to be doing everything else, but to be doing what you came for. Now, that may involve seeing everything else and learning from everything else, but it also involves applying it here and now. And so remaining grounded and focused is very important. And keeping your place in this reality is very important. And so this is what I mean, and these are my thoughts on the matter, and I hope you find them helpful. And until next time, may you blessed be. Hello, this is Reverend Don Lewis coming to you from witchschool.com. Are you looking for the best in pagan and magical education? With more than 12,000 pages, witchschool.com is like having your own personal library with individual learning assistants to help you study. And Witch School's Anyone, Anytime, Anywhere education system is available any place on Earth, anywhere you are and anytime you want it, as long as you have an internet connection. Witch School's lifetime memberships are a great value. They really do last a lifetime. They've been there for years and they'll be there for years to come. So get your membership today at witchschool.com.